Okay, welcome to the holiday edition of the, well, should I say Memorial Weekend edition of the Take Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Ernest DJ Christian, coming to you not locked down anymore in South Florida. I'm every day to work, actually. Online, of course, the wrestling savants of Mike Bernier and Joe Lopez. Fellas, happy holiday weekend. What's up?
Not much here. Just still chilling in Maine and
By the way,
trying to not get sick.
By the way, Joe, that picture you put on social media today we were in Jordans?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So during the pandemic, I've had nothing to really do while sitting at home. So I've become a sneaker collector. So I've legitimately bought like 6 pairs of sneakers in the last 2 months.
Seriously?
And I got 2 more on the way.
Wow, sneaker guy.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah, no. If you look through my Instagram, I have a pair of LeBrons. I have a pair of Jordans. I have 2 Air Force Ones. One of them is like an exclusive that just came out. I didn't even know it was limited edition. I just like the color. I just ordered another pair of LeBrons today, actually. So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have a hobby, right?
Mike, what do you think about this development here in Joe becoming a sneaker pimp?
I'm not opposed to Joe becoming a quote sneaker pimp, but what I am opposed to is the fact that you want to sit here and offer us a happy Memorial Day weekend when you're the one that said, "Hey guys, I might not be able to record today because I have to wake up in the morning and go to the DMV, which is closed because it's a national holiday."
Well, to be fair, you're the one to remind me it was the holiday weekend today. So
That's what he's saying. You should have known.
I had no idea until you told me. Dude, every day for the last 2 weeks it felt like Groundhog Day. Okay. I'm only now getting to my routine, sort of my routine. But anyway, we got quick. We have a lot. We'll review one thing, of course, and a couple other things we'll take to bring to the show today. Let's start here. Obviously, getting started with sad news in professional wrestling. 2 deaths, actually. First off, Shad Gaspard. By the way, I didn't but I never followed him really because he was wrestling at the time. I wasn't watching, but passed away at age 39 after getting by a rip current on Venice Beach. It's a very sad story. It gets even sadder when the fact that it was him and his son swimming on the beach, and he basically reported the crew that basically told the lifeguard to save his son, and he could pull the trigger after that. Again, I watch him in the moment. But for the name, and hearing the outpouring of love and respect he's gotten from the business the last couple of days has been really, obviously a very sad story. But nice to see him that he deserves, obviously. Fellas, I'm sure you guys were around 2006 or 2008 when he was in WWE. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think that, Crime Time was kind of a team. The gimmick was a little bit ahead of its time. I think it's interesting because when you look at teams like the Street Profits and Private Party, it's easier to think back, and even Primetime Players a few years ago, it's easier to think back and kind of see Crime Time as their who they're emulating, as opposed to say Harlem Heat or another team like that. So I think Crime Time was actually very ahead of their time, and I think they maybe don't always get the respect they deserve and the praise. I mean, certainly they were never the hugest act, but what tag team is in WWE other than the New Day. I always enjoyed them as a team. I actually went to high school with JTG. Not that we were friends or anything, but literally graduated together.
That was his partner, right?
I always thought Shad was a really talented guy too, and I would have loved to have seen them return to WWE at some point. So it's kind of sad to know that it's not going to happen. And just, it's crazy, right? Because I feel like this really goes to show you how far we've come in pro wrestling, though, because, even 10 years ago, I feel like every time you heard that a wrestler was 39 years old and passed away or something, you kind of knew it was going to be drug related or something like that. And nowadays, it doesn't really happen because, the culture's moved away from a lot of the drugs and stuff like that. So now when you hear a wrestler like Shad Gaspard, dying at 39, there's a tragic story behind it other than, mental health issues or whatever. And, in this case, this is almost as tragic as you can get, there's obviously he died saving his son, really, essentially. And there's no, it's just beyond noble,
Mike?
Yeah, I was a big fan of Crime Time. I'll never forget the time they raided Edge and Lita's locker room and started selling her underwear out of her, quote, bag, her gear bag, which really wasn't hers, obviously, but fucking hilarious. They had a brief, trio with Cena. That was really cool. And I think the biggest problem when Crime Time, I think Vince wanted to push Shad to the moon because he fit that, hey, he's a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Bill.
Yeah.
And I think it broke Crime Time up a lot sooner than they needed to be at that time in WWE. And I think that was something that kind of sucked wind for Crime Time as a team because then it was Shad was on his own, JTG was doing his thing, they had a little feud, and then Shad went, and I don't know if Shad got hurt or
I don't
want to send him down to developmental or something, but then Shad goes away, and then basically JTG gets paid to be on the roster for 18 years and finally gets released last year or the year before or something like that. It's kind of bonkers when you think about it. But I always thought Shad was super talented. I've always thought Shad was a guy who, given the right push, given the right feud, could have been a major player in the WWE. And it's unfortunate that he is no longer with us. I mean, at the end of the day, he did what every father vows to do, and that's save his son from impending danger the only way a father can. And I think that's the thing that I know a lot of the industry is going to remember Shad for, is the fact that Shad went out doing what, Shad had to do to protect his son.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing that you can kind of rest your hat on, is that it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't wrong place, wrong time. It wasn't, he was in the middle of a gangbang or something like that.
Yeah.
He did what he had to do to protect his, and unfortunately he paid the ultimate price for protecting his, and that in itself is honorable, and I think all of his friends are going to do their best to make sure that his son understands the sacrifice that his dad made on that day.
Yeah, listen, I obviously I'm not a father in any capacity. I have people in my life who I could certainly say I would die for or kill for. But you guys are both fathers to sons, so I mean, I feel like you could probably understand this even more than I can,
The same thing happened with Kobe. The same thing with Kobe. You're using on top of that. It's an extra layer. I think where I was actually so really, it was nice to see, watching the tributes come in the last couple of days on social media. Not just not just the newer, just generation, wrestlers and people in the business today, but even the old guard, DDP, Jake Snake Roberts, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a lot of the old guard also too, who actually rubbed shoulders with him at some point or another, whether it be through, not if not in the ring, certainly around in the business, and the outpouring of love from so many generations of wrestling stars and influencers, that really touched me more than anything else, seeing that.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too.
So I guess rest in peace to Shad. We had another death that happened on Friday. Stardom wrestler Hana Kimura also passed away at the age of 22. The rumor is the cause has been rumored to be suicide.
No, that's confirmed.
It's confirmed now?
Yeah.
They confirmed it earlier.
Okay.
They confirmed it earlier today.
Any I mean, obviously, I never knew her until literally today when I heard the news. Guys, any thoughts on this? I mean, I mean, you have to assume it's online bullying, probably, right? Push this. I don't know.
Yeah, Mike, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it. Hana Kimura was 22. Passed away. I guess it'd be early Saturday Japanese time.
Okay.
And honestly, it sucks because it's you can obviously tell the reason behind it was the fact that she was bullied from something that happened on a Japanese game show or something like that. But it has been reported, according to Japanese news media outlet Bochi Annex, or whatever the fuck it is, that she ingested hydrogen sulfide.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
Also, one of her neighbors said the fire engine and ambulance arrived at her house locally about 4 a.m. Kyrie Sane tweeted the following about it, saying, I was able to notice her tweet right away because it's afternoon here in the United States. By the time difference, it was midnight in Japan. She called Jungle Screamer and Rossi Ogawa with Io Shirai immediately. Kayona went to her house, however, did not make it in time. Here's the thing, and, you know, I'm going to say this, and I don't care if I offend anybody for the next 30 seconds, and if you're someone that's offended by this, do me a favor, don't listen to this show anymore. Please, don't. I don't want you fucking listening to my podcast when I'm going to tell you this. If you're one of those people that likes to bully people, likes to tell people that they should be off the face of the earth, that they should go hurt themselves, go fuck yourself. You are a terrible fucking individual. I know that I'm fucking putting myself in the same spot that they are right now because of what they said to her, and I'm kind of saying the same thing to them, but please don't listen to my show. Go away. I want nothing to do with you. I don't want to know that you exist. I don't need to be your friend. I don't need to know that, like, you're in this area, because at the end of the day, you don't exist to me, because at the end of the day, you're a terrible human being. And what you people did to push someone who all they were trying to do was be a 22-year-old in the business trying to make a name for herself because you felt that she acted a certain way on a game show or on a contest. I'm sorry, how much of that stuff in Big Brother is planned? Who's to say that the director or the producer didn't plan half of the stuff that happened? At the end of the day, wanting to blow up on somebody that you don't understand them, or you're not even friends with them, or you don't even know the situation, go fuck yourself.
I couldn't agree more. And again, this is part of the culture now, not just wrestling, but in general, where sports, it doesn't matter. Anything, you know, online bullying is a thing, you know, and it sucks, you know, and it's really sad that somebody at 22 years old loses her life because she didn't feel like she was good enough because of what people were saying to her online. It really sucks to hear that. Joe, you have anything you want to say on this before we go to the next topic?
No, because I think you guys have said it all, and there's nothing else to say. I've never seen her wrestle, unfortunately, you know, so I don't have any familiarity like that, and I'm sure a lot of, you know, anyone who's a fan of hers must really be feeling this, you know, especially.
Right.
Like you guys said it though, like it's sad that people can push people to do things like that, and there's nothing to say. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to say because it shouldn't be a thing. But, you know, simply saying it shouldn't be a thing is not ever going to be enough. You know, and I don't know what we do. You know, and like as individuals, I don't know what we do to help, because obviously we help by not doing it ourselves. But like, what's the next step then? You know, like if you see someone doing it, you step in and intervene. Even if you step in and intervene, is that enough? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You know,
honestly, sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes it's
not.
You have to start picking up on people's patterns to really know when they're not okay, because they'll say that they're okay and they'll put on this front, and you have to start catching patterns to prove that they're not okay. At the end of the day, the amount of people that have put out tributes from the New Japan wrestlers, because she was part of the Stardom tag match that opened up Wrestle Kingdom this year, to current WWE wrestlers that have wrestled in Japan, to Ring of Honor stars, to, you know, just people that I follow on social media, including the likes of Ring of Honor's newest women's competitor session, Martha Martinez, or Toni Storm, you know, countless other, Bea Priestley from AEW, other that are just heartbroken over the fact that their friend is no longer here. And honestly, their friend is no longer here because people don't know how to fucking just not fucking be assholes.
Right. Okay, let's get to the next two other news bits I want to get to real quick. AJ Styles apparently traded from Raw to SmackDown.
Yeah, Raw didn't want none.
Lights. I gotta tell you, good move. SmackDown needs some more star power, honestly. Especially Roman not being around. Makes sense. No OC, obviously not in the company anymore. Makes sense. And, you know, AJ is very familiar with SmackDown, so he was there a couple years ago. So there you go. Guys, thoughts? You like the move?
I mean, I sort of like it. You know, like he feels like a natural fit on SmackDown. It's the house that AJ built, and you know, it's been fun. It was kind of nice to get him over onto Raw and kind of get a fresh variety of matches for him. But you know, now that Anderson and Gallows are gone, him by himself on Raw might not necessarily be the most exciting thing. So you know, over on SmackDown, he got some really good matches, some really first time fights with a lot of people, and you know, we're living in a world where Braun Strowman's the champion, so you got to get as many people on the show as possible that can have really good matches when he's not involved.
Any chance AJ turns into babyface here?
Oh, 100%. I think there's a big chance that happens. I don't know when, but I mean, it's as good a time as any to make it happen. They had him fighting Nakamura this week, who is a heel, so
right. Mike?
Let's see. I'm a fan of AJ going over to SmackDown. I think he's going to be good on that part of the roster. Yeah, right now it looks like Raw is based on the like Zelina Vega's Mexican Army, and you know the
Mexican Army.
Seth Rollins fucking Monday night I got a friend in Jesus meeting.
And he's really an atheist too, for the record.
So I mean, at the end of the day, I like that they're going this route. I think it's going to be good for Styles there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him end up winning the Intercontinental title. Now that he's a full-time member of the roster. The only thing that I don't like about this whole situation is that he was traded for cash considerations, or no, I'm sorry, not cash considerations. Future, what was it? Future, whatever the fuck it was called, like future
consideration.
Like so what does that mean? Like they're gonna get like a 7th round draft pick in the NXT draft?
Yes.
I'm so fucking confused on like what this means. Like
no, they're licking their chops. They're licking their chops because you know. Down the road, they're getting their hands on I don't know, someone.
Shane Thorne and Daniel Vidot or whatever the fuck.
I think Raw got Shane Thorne already, just for the record. I think they're gonna go ahead and take a flyer on Tito Speroni.
I don't think he works there anymore.
No, well,
is he part of the cuts? No.
I don't know who the hell that is. I
think
Tony Danza played him on a show in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
All right, last bit of news of the week. Britt Baker, AEW's Britt Baker, rumored to miss an upwards of 2 months with a fractured tibia, torn LCL in the right knee, and a slight tendon tear. She got hurt in on the last Dynamite in a tag match with Nyla Rose. I mean, I don't think it's a big loss in terms of in ring, but she's definitely she can still build her character, you know, on the mic in the next 2 months anyway. So I think she'll still be on TV. Just not, obviously not in the ring. So
yeah, I think this affects her dental career a lot more because it's got to be hard drilling into people's teeth when you can't even stand on both legs. I think wrestling-wise she'll be fine.
Hey,
but
Joe, she's a dentist, by the way. She's a dentist.
She is that, yes, and Adam Cole, factually her boyfriend, and one day she will have his
babies.
That's right, Michael.
Stupid move that got her hurt. By the way, just.
Do you think? Wait. Dumb. Do you think this is why Nyla lost the title?
Like what? As punishment?
Yeah.
No, because she can't be the one that understands that Britt's knee's up. Statlander and Sheeta put her in a spot where she was over to the left, where Baker's like sitting in the corner with her knee propped up. At the end of the day, that's why, is because her leg got bent up all awkwardly in that aspect.
True.
Britt had her knee in a spot that she shouldn't have. The girls didn't probably put Nyla in the spot that she needed to. I don't know if there's punishment in that aspect for Nyla. I think the decision, and now that you spoiled it for Ernest.
No, I knew the result. I have a result in front of me.
I don't know. I really feel like the fact is that like they've built her as a monster, but their women's division has been better with like in ring work, and Nyla doesn't fit that role.
I agree. And
I think it is more like let's let her run through the like Allie J's, the Shazza McKinney, the whoever the hell else we can get to randomly be here on a random Wednesday night for Dynamite.
You know what? Since you
UPN?
Since you spoil it, let's get to that match right off the bat to start our first take of the day.
No, we go in order, sir.
Well, I was going to, but since you already spoiled the fucking thing already, we can go ahead and just throw out the.
And I have one more piece of news story, you fruit.
What happened now?
Tony Storm's officially dating.
Whoa. Tony Storm, what?
Tony Storm's officially dating former WWE superstar Juice Robinson.
That's news. Yeah, actually is news. Yeah, actually is news. Anyway,
you're welcome.
Let's go. So let's go in order then, since Mike gets mad about that.
Can we call there a couple names Storm Juice? I think if you buy that,
I like that.
I think if you buy that at like the Publix, you get like a free hot dog. Storm Juice.
Yes, Storm Juice.
I like Storm Juice. All right. Anyway, the buy-in.
I bet you do.
The pre-match before the actual show. The buy-in between. What's it again?
What? Good.
No, okay. Anyway, for the buy-in before the main show, Best Friends defeat Private Party last night via pinfall. Again, I didn't watch the show. I have the results.
I didn't get to watch that match because the stream wasn't working during the buy-in. As far as I know, I thought it was just me at first on BR Live, but I jumped over onto. So I didn't go on Twitter because I don't have my own Twitter. But if you Google like AEW or BR Live, you can go on Twitter. So I went on there and saw all the other people complaining about the stream not working. So I knew it wasn't just me. They did get it up in time for the main show. It got up about 4 or 5 minutes before the main show was going to start. Mm-hmm. But I totally missed the buy-in match.
She got $5 back #1 for that.
Probably not.
It does feel, but it does feel like though for the last couple weeks that Best Friends is starting to really. Well, I believe they're the number one contenders now with this win, and they're starting. It's funny. Like the last couple months now. I mean, Orange Cassidy's still way over, but it feels like Best Friends is starting to really mark their own territory too within the group as well, which is really good.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Mike,
bless you. Didn't watch this match either because I was at work. But I enjoy Best Friends, but I also enjoy Private Party. But I really feel like Private Party's just been like there. Like their big win is like, we beat the Young Bucks in the tag title tournament.
Like fuck October.
Whoop-de-doo.
Basil. Whoop-de-doo. That's all they've done.
Yeah. So, anyway, now to the main show. The show started with the Casino ladder match. We had a surprise. The TBA was Brian Cage, who defeated Orange Cassidy, Joey Janela, Luchasaurus, Scorpio Sky, Frank Kazarian, Kip Sabian, Darby Allin, and Colt Cabana to earn a shot at the AEW World Championship against we'll know in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Brian Cage, know nothing about him. I've heard the name again, but know nothing about him. Fill me in.
So here's the thing. I watched this match twice. I feel like I had a roller coaster of emotions going through this match. So I want to kind of hit the highlights of the different feelings that I had. Okay. So first of all, this thing was a total car wreck. Like total car wreck, but the kind that like you kind of can't turn away from. So I'm okay with admitting that like I totally enjoyed it, but like it was a train wreck. Like it really just was. I think Brian Cage debuting here was a fantastic spot to put him in. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love where they're positioning him. I'm not surprised you're not familiar with him, Ernest. He's been around in PWG. I think he was involved in Lucha Underground for a while. He definitely was in Impact until very recently. Honestly, go on YouTube, go on Daily Motion, type in Brian Cage. You'll find a bunch of matches from him. He's impressive as shit. He really is. He's kind of fantastic. He showed it a little bit here. He's going to show it a lot more. Honestly, my favorite part of this match was towards the end of the match when him and Luchasaurus were going back and forth. I need to see them have like a good 15-minute match on Dynamite this week, or like build it longer and get us to. I want not the next pay-per-view. It's not until September. It's forever away. But like I want to see the two of them just going one-on-one. I don't know. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed seeing Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc as a team here. Jimmy Havoc wasn't even officially in the match. And by the way, the blood splattered white suit he's walking around wearing is one of the coolest looks ever. I didn't know I could take Jimmy Havoc seriously, and now I sort of am.
You want to take Jimmy Havoc seriously? Go watch his Progress run.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not familiar with his progress work.
Because that bloodstained suit is like what he wore.
Okay.
During that, so yeah, that's a Havoc staple.
It's a good carryover to here, and honestly, something about him and Kip Sabian with Penelope, like
it
that
works.
like little act,
it works.
They're so different from each other that putting them together works really well, and I really want to see a lot more of that.
Cruz, right?
My other thoughts from the match: Darby Allin is insane. That needs to be noted multiple times, and that's about it. Oh, and Frankie Kazarian, you were there too.
He was there. He was. Mike.
First off, I kind of like that SCU started against each other. That was pretty fun. Enjoyed Sabian and Havoc. Darby is a fucking lunatic. That's fucking obvious. And then finally, Mr. GMSI. Joe, you understand what that stands for, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Get My Shit In. Brian Cage makes his AEW debut. I didn't think it was going to be long before he made an impact.
Did Taz was it Taz that brought him out? Was it Taz that brought him out?
Yes.
Okay.
So for those of you that don't know, the Young Bucks, big in the forefront of PWG, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, for those of you that live under a rock. Loved Brian Cage. Brian Cage, the fucking machine. He is a guy who does things that no one should do for his weight class and height and things like that. His nickname is Mr. Get My Shit In, because he'll find a way to get his shit in a match no matter how hard he has to work to do it. Love Brian Cage. I think he's going to be great on this roster.
Yes, he is.
Bucks were big fans of his. I knew it was just a matter of time until they got him here. Glad he's here. I think he's going to be big. Supposedly, Tony Khan announced during the post-show presser that Moxley versus Cage is set the place to take at Fyter Fest.
In July, I believe, also, right?
Yeah, that was supposed to be in London. Ain't in London anymore, Chief.
Because Rona.
Coronavirus. So, that is my take on match number one. For the record,
what do you think of Orange Cassidy in the match?
Whatever.
Freshie Squeeze, he was there, right?
I mean, okay, so here's my thing, right? I thought some of it worked really well, like him trying to hitch a ride up whoever's back to the top of the ladder. Yes, that was brilliant. Him trying to just reach for the things and without climbing a ladder, that was kind of fucking dumb.
Okay, when he first came into the ring, and he did it the first time, I laughed. So I'm like,
right.
That plays his gimmick off perfect. He's just maybe I can get it. And he moves the ladder and he steps on the side of the ladder, doesn't even try to lift the ladder up.
Right.
And he's like, and he's like, all right, I can't get it, and I got to reevaluate. That Orange Cassidy was hilarious. The Orange Cassidy, the rest of it, where every time he was trying to do it, I'm like, all right, dude, now it's down to a little much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
For the record, of the pre-show predictions, the only person to get to be determined correct was myself. I am currently ahead on the pick'ems 1-0.
Okay, all right. The next match here we have MGF defeating Jungle Boy via pinfall. Again, I haven't seen the show yet, but this is one of the matches I'm looking forward to watching. Actually, MGF only one loss since being in the company.
Yeah. Okay. So my first thought from this match, and I texted it to you guys earlier today. Mm-hmm. Jungle Boy's gimmick really loses a lot of credibility when he steps in the ring and is literally the same height as MJF. I think part of Jungle Boy's whole thing is supposed to be that he's the smaller guy, the up-and-comer and stuff, and that doesn't work when most of the roster is the same height as you. Case in point, one of the top heels being the exact same height as him. So I sort of feel like they need to reevaluate Jungle Boy's gimmick, because he's fantastic. He's fantastic in the ring, and he should be in there with guys like MJF, but it loses, the gimmick literally loses some of its moment when he, is the same height as his opponent. So I think they need to adjust some of that. But anyway,
maybe it's called Blue Perry's son. I guess maybe it's called Blue Perry's son.
Yeah, something like I still think he.
Play off of that a little bit.
I genuinely think you should throw him in a suit and turn him into like Hollywood Batista.
I was just thinking
Rock.
that. I was just thinking that too.
No, he totally should be Hollywood Jack Perry. That should be his gimmick.
Ooh.
And why that's not, I don't know. But anyway,
The break of the Jurassic Express.
Yeah. But I think like you can even take them with you, right? Like you can just have Marco's stunt could be like his turtle, and like
Watch now.
Luchasaurus, you just like make him into like Diesel. You know what I mean? Like you can like it's fine. You can take everyone along
On the fly, Joe. Huh? On the fly. You thought it out already.
yeah, this just happened.
The Hollywood Express.
But I thought the match was really good. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought in front of an audience it would have really killed. And this is one of those matches where I do feel like it was missing being in front of a live crowd, like more so than just like the other wrestlers. I don't know. It just there was, like it got to about like I don't like doing like ratings and stuff. If I had to rate it out of 5, I'd almost go like 3.5. Well, like it was almost there, and like. And maybe a little bit longer. I think if the ending hadn't been so out of nowhere, it really could have like kind of passed the certain crescendo.
CBS Sports gave it B+.
Really
CBS Sports gave it B+. So
yeah.
Mike.
I enjoyed the match. As for the Jungle Boy character, I think he can still be Jungle Boy, but they need to like stop making him out to be like this 3'5" guy. That's Marco Stunt.
That's Marco's
right.
Yeah.
That's not Jungle Boy. So that's where it's like I think he can still be Jungle Boy because he's only 22 years old. Like he's still growing into who he is as a wrestler and things like that. So like I don't necessarily hate the Jungle Boy quote name to go with the gimmick, but they definitely have to tweak some things about the actual gimmick. As for the match itself, really enjoyed the match. I like that MJF was working over the arm to go for Salt of the Earth. But I will say this: I don't think this match stole the show like Joe thought it was going to.
No, it didn't. I agree with you.
All right.
Jungle Boy always felt like a jobber type of wrestler, like Coco Beware-ish. Like he's a star, but he's not really a big star, and clearly he's a lot better than that. So.
Well, I think that also plays in the role of the fact that he's paired with a 4'4" midget and dinosaur.
Yes.
Hollywood Express, I'm with it. All right.
This one. Myself and Ernest both picked Maxwell Jacob Friedman. How the fuck did I do that?
Because he's
Joe selection.
Salt of the Earth.
Joe is 0-2. I am 2-0. Ernest is 1-1 through 2 matches.
Okay. All right. TNT Championship. The debut. Cody finally gets the big match. Beats Lance Archer by a pinfall. Fellas, I hate the belt.
Oh my god, it's the ugliest thing.
By the way, for the record, I hate all their belts. All 3 I hate.
I actually like their tag titles.
I like
no, I'm sorry. No, okay, all the singles belts. I should have been more specific.
Oh, okay.
Love the tag titles. Hate the AEW Women's title. Hate the AEW title in general. And now this one too, TNT Championship. Can't stand it.
The TNT one is is a disrespectment to pro wrestling. I made up a word.
It's paying homage to the old school NWA television title, obviously.
Those titles were ugly too.
Yep.
Oh no, they're hot trash, bro. But the thing that I don't like is, necessarily don't like is the fact that, basically it literally looks like they took the Raw tag titles and like smoothed out the big silver penny out of it and like put stickers on it.
Yeah, I think you're correct about that, actually.
It's awful.
It is awful.
It is awful.
I don't like it. The color, too, I can't stand either.
And then I'll also say that I'm glad that Cody won. I think the match itself was really good. I enjoyed the double crossroads to get him the win. I don't think this hurts Lance Archer in the slightest.
Right.
I agree.
He's being built up as a monster.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, that match is actually on because I'm actually watching the show right now while we record. So again, I think that this was a good match from the perspective of what these guys were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other thing is now with who gets cracks at Cody, I think this opens up the roster a little bit more to some of the undercard guys, your Sabians, your Havocs, SCU, to go after. And I think Cody's going to be more of the defending the title more than maybe Moxley. I keep calling him fucking Ambrose whenever I can. So it's like he'll be around, but I don't think he'll be around to the standpoint of like he'll be defending the title on television all the time. But I think Cody's going to be defending this title fairly frequently to build up the prestige of the TNT title. I don't like the title. I don't like the name. The match itself was really good. That's where I'm at.
It should be a TV title. Just TV.
So this is probably my least favorite Cody match in AEW so far. And that's not to say it wasn't a good match. It was actually a really good match. But I do think that, and again, I've actually been one of the few people I feel like, not only on this show, but just in general, who has argued for a while that not having an audience hasn't really made that big of a difference. I feel like this show was the show that proved me wrong. Because honestly, in front of a live crowd, this match might have felt more in line with me with Cody's other big AEW matches. And it just, I don't know, felt like it was missing like just that little extra something. And that little extra something could have been in the live crowd. It really could have been, for all I know. It felt like it was a little longer than it needed to be. But other than that, and I'm a big Lance Hoyt fan. Lance Archer, sorry. Wow, that was a moment.
That was a moment.
Yeah.
I'm a big Lance Archer fan in general, especially with his most recent New Japan run. So, I enjoyed this, but yeah, it wasn't my favorite of Cody's matches.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Alrighty. Chris Statlander defeated Penelope Cruz. Ford. By pinfall. Anything on this one? I mean,
it was good. It's good enough.
Penelope Ford taking the place of Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, the girlfriend of Adam Cole. By the way, she is a dentist. The match was okay for what it was. I think that the two girls did the best they could with less time to probably plan this match than Baker and Statlander had. I obviously think Baker would have won this match had she not gotten hurt.
Yeah, I think so too.
So it's one of those where it's like you take this with a grain of salt. It was a good match. I think it's where it needed to be in between some of the other matches. So good work, ladies.
Mm-hmm. Joe?
Yeah, same. I mean, I like Statlander. She looked really good here. Penelope Ford looked really good here. It might have been the best women's match on the show, actually, because I'm not sure how I felt about the other one. So.
Oh, we'll get there. Dustin Rhodes, the natural Dustin Rhodes defeats Shawn Spears by pinfall.
Okay.
Last minute match. Well, it was added on Wednesday, so.
Wait. Okay. I loved everything about this segment. I can't say this was a great match. Like if you're just judging it based on a match, like if you were just watching the match as a match, like it's not a great wrestling match. It's not.
Right.
But the whole segment, Shawn Spears has so much charisma. He is so good in his role. The fact that he is not being used more than he is such a crime right now in AEW. I hope they look at what he did on this show and realize it and give him more of a role, because honestly, he killed here.
I agree.
And yeah, I love this. Like, I love this whole segment. Like, honestly, it's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole show.
And honestly, too, like, he's been one of the MVPs of this No Crowd era for AEW.
Yeah, I agree.
Mike?
Hold on. I had a thought process that I was going to go with here, and I sure have a fucking complete blank on it. Because, hey, that's what I do. Dustin has definitely been a guy who, like, he's been their, like, almost like their workhorse to an extent.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, that's been a big thing that, for his age, he's been fucking killing it. And I think that's the thing. Shawn Spears needs to figure out what the fuck his gimmick is. And, like, that might help him actually become, relevant on the show. Because he's had like 13 different gimmicks, honestly. That's the way it feels to me.
Yeah.
He's still trying to find his way through to make a real mark on the roster. So we'll see. But I thought he's been really, really good the last couple months, to be honest with you. But we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. AEW Women's Championship. You got new champions. Hikaru Shida defeats Nyla Rose via pinfall as well. I'm pretty shocked, actually, that Nyla got the strap taken off her so soon.
I was too. It's part of the reason why I wondered if it was like a punishment thing.
I agree. Mike, what do you think? Speculate.
I said that I don't think that it's her fault that Britt got hurt, and I don't think this is any kind of punishment. I just think that she fits the role of running through everybody, but not necessarily being a champion. And plus, it took Shida beating her in a no disqualification, no countout match. It wasn't a, normal match. It was
right.
like it had to have a stipulation for her to lose, kind of thing. So it always has something to fall back on.
I don't know. Was it a good match, Joe?
I mean, so here's the thing. I feel like it was good. I'm not going to take away the fact that both women were trying very hard. I think they both worked very hard, and they both deserve credit for that. And this is another one, and this is again why I say, I feel like this show is the show that proved me wrong. I feel like if this match had been in front of a live crowd, in front of 14,000 people or however many people they could have fit into the MGM Grand, I feel like it would have covered up, the excitement of the crowd would have covered up some of the greener aspects of both women. And without that, it kind of just stands out. It's like watching a movie and you take away the soundtrack. And when there's no music in the background, all of a sudden, all of the other little things about it that maybe, like the music, pulls it together. It's like the rug in the middle of the room, really ties the room together. It's like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas, without the music, you're kind of noticing how, Cate Blanchett really ain't that great an actress or something. You know what I mean? So I felt like that. Like this was missing the music, This was missing the little extra something that I think would have covered up any faults that they had, which both women are really good, but you can sort of tell both women are still also kind of learning and getting better, especially in Nyla's case. I think she still has a lot of room to grow, and I love that she, I'm a big fan of hers, and I think that for a lot of reasons, and I obviously as part of the LGBTQRSTUV community, I appreciate it, but I do think she still has a lot of room to grow and learn more. I think the same can be said about Shida, and the same can be said about a lot of the women in the division. It's one of the reasons why they're a very exciting division, but also, too, and you do have to understand why, they can kind of come across as a little on the sloppy side sometimes,
I miss Big Swole. Just saying.
Yeah, me too. Every day. I think she was in the audience in this one.
Probably she was. I saw Wednesday definitely on Dynamite.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they got their little fans now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, Vicky Guerrero was part of that little fan.
Yeah, she was.
I didn't see her actually. I don't know. Anyway, Jon Moxley retains the World Championship, AEW World Championship, as he defeats Brody Lee via stoppage. I actually love the build to this feud, up to this match. Really, to be honest with you, I wonder if there's any more juice in this feud in the next couple weeks or not.
Yeah, I this is one of my favorite matches on the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was great. This honestly was as great as I was expecting it to be. Again, in front of a crowd, this might have been even better. Mm-hmm. But I will say, I think this one, even without a major live crowd, even with just the wrestlers at ringside and stuff, I think this one crossed that line. I think this one is worth going out of your way to see. It's a fantastic match. It's your first AEW title match that doesn't have Chris Jericho in it. So I mean that makes it kind of noteworthy, right?
It's open.
I thought it was really good, and this is the part where I knew Brody Lee would deliver. I still hate the character, I still hate the whole Dark Order gimmick. But I knew in the ring, and I knew against Moxley and against a lot of other guys on this roster, he could deliver, and that definitely came out here. So I mean, like I said, my favorite match on the show, hands down.
To be honest, not that I've done a total 180 on the Dark Order thing, but Brody Lee has helped me actually start to maybe at least accept the Dark Order for what it is. I don't hate it as much as I did 5 months ago. Just saying.
Yeah.
Mike, go ahead.
I agree.
Join us. The match was really good. Really cool spot where they went through the entranceway. When Mox hit the paradigm shift. I like the fact that this ended with like stoppage. Like there wasn't like everything's been pinfall,
Yeah.
pinfall. Grab the chip off the top of the ladder. Pinfall. So it was nice to see something different in a match full of pinfalls. I thought these guys were just really getting it going when it ended, though. I felt like there was more that there was a gear that this thing never got into. And I don't know that it's either of these guys' fault. I just felt like there was like they were in third gear, and then all of a sudden like, oh, match is over. I'm like, give them another 5 minutes, this thing could have, went even further up on how good I thought the match actually was. But again, you have a 34-minute main event, and you have two matches that had a combined 8 minutes of bell time.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, definitely. Definitely one of two matches that actually was different from the other, definitely. All right, and finally, the Stadium Stampede between the Elite versus the Inner Circle, which the Elite came away with a win by pinfall, as a trend, of course, when Kenny Omega hit the diving one-winging angel on Sammy Guevara. Boy, Joe, man, they got to stop picking on my boy, man. Seriously, Sammy. I'm a big Sammy guy now.
Yeah. He's a great guy. He's a great guy.
What do you guys think? I haven't seen the show yet, so I'm going to watch it at some point this week and really dive into it. But your thoughts on the Stadium Stampede?
It was one of the most fun matches I've seen during these last couple of months. They really went outside the box. They really had a lot of fun with it. To me, this was more my brand of humor than like the stuff that was in like the Money in the Bank match, which is like, look, humor is so subjective, and that is one of the places that I feel like when WWE and AEW does a lot of stuff, that's the altar that they either live or die on, is, what your opinion is on what, if your sense of humor matches up. And I think my sense of humor might match up with the AEW people a little bit more than Vince McMahon. So I definitely enjoyed this more than, say, like Money in the Bank. Honestly, I've never seen anyone do a moonsault off of a field post before, so that was awesome. I actually really loved everything about this match. There was a lot of really fun stuff in it, and and the one other point I would make is this match also very successfully proved that WWE made the wrong call about WrestleMania, because the ring in the middle of the football field and the stadium with no fans and being empty looked a hell of a lot cooler than the Performance Center did. Yes. So I kind of think maybe they should have done WrestleMania still like at the football stadium, but just like with no crowd. It might have felt more like WrestleMania somehow. And it took AEW proving that by being like, yeah, we got our own football stadium, bitch.
Who do you think? Who would have thought in these last couple months, AEW trendsetters for the business?
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
No, for real.
Putting crowds in there.
FR.
Yeah, I agree. Mike?
I really liked the Jake Hager, Adam Page, let's have a drink before we brawl part where they were both sitting at the bar. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Sammy Guevara getting ran down by a horse.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I've had dreams like that. I've definitely five knuckle shuffled. I can't even finish that sentence. I can't get through it.
He can't do it. He gave it all she had.
It seems like Sammy Guevara is like the second alignment of the entire group.
All I know is the last time I had a fantasy about Sammy Guevara and a horse, it ended with him looking at me and being like, "Where do you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?"
Joe, you're nuts.
So bad.
Alrighty. On that note, let's get to the next take of the for this week. I guess Mike, it's your show now.
All right. So because I like to do things a little differently. My topic for this evening's soiree is if you are in charge of booking WWE and you can make a move 5 moves. What 5 moves would you make, and why would you make them?
Okay.
Now, this means anything from changing title belt designs to moving people from rosters to putting the title on different people, etc., etc. I'll let you guys go first, and then I'll give you my 5.
Joe, want to go first? Or want me to go first?
That's on
Joe
you,
doesn't
buddy.
have a list. He's going to do it.
I do not have a list.
Of course you don't.
Know?
I'll go first. All right. So this might piss some of you guys off here, but I'll say anyway. First thing I do is put the damn Universal strap on Baron Corbin right now. Just do it. Just do it. I want to see him with a strap. He's been a king.
I don't hate that.
I just want to see another heel, major heel, outside Brock Lesnar and all that, hold a belt.
I would love that.
I mean, you said
you cashing Money in the Bank on him.
I mean, you see obviously you say, well, the Fiend was a heel. Well, the Fiend's a tweener, honestly. People love the Fiend, so that doesn't count.
The Fiend is a character. He's not a heel.
Well, you know what I mean. That's what I'm saying. He's well liked. I want to see a major heel hold the belt for a little bit. And Baron Corbin is a major heel, probably the biggest one on SmackDown. So
I fully agree with you on that. Actually, I like that idea.
That's the first move I make. Number 2, bring back the OC with AJ Styles, because again, I love factions, and the WWE. Well, I mean, now obviously they have the one on Raw now, but I want to see another faction with AJ Styles and the OC. I'm not a fan of the OC as a tag team, but I like the OC with AJ Styles. You know what I mean? Because factions again. So I mean, it's fun. Number 3, like the women has their own Raw and SmackDown belts, tell the men their own Raw and SmackDown belt as well. I mean, this whole Universal and WWE title, I mean, which is more important? I asked Mike this 6 months ago. He said the Universal is more important. Are we sure about that? Like, are we sure the Universal one is a bigger belt than WWE one? So
I mean, I think they're supposed to be equal, but I kind of see what you're saying.
Yeah, make this.
So you would just rename them basically.
This is make a Raw belt and a SmackDown belt. If you're really gonna do a brand split and stick to a brand split, do it the right way. Raw belt, SmackDown belt. You did it for the women already. Do it for the men also.
Yeah, I can see that argument.
So that's number 3. Number 4, fire Lana. She's annoying. Get her out of here. And I'm not one to people lose their jobs. Obviously, I'm not a mean guy, but even as a manager or whatever, she's annoying. Just go away now, please. And number 5, please let Drew McIntyre hold the belt for the full year. Please. Give him a real chance to hold the belt, to make a case for being a legend going forward. Like let him hold the belt for a full year. I'm hoping he holds it from WrestleMania to WrestleMania at least. That's what I got. My 5 moves.
Nice.
It's a lot to ask for him to hold the title that long.
Fuck it. They do it fucking Becky Lynch.
At least she was there. I mean, they gave it to fucking Brock Lesnar for fucking 6 fucking months, every fucking 6 months, and the guy's never fucking there.
Well, it's the name. Give it to a guy who's actually there, like Drew.
I'm not disagreeing with you. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm just saying it's hard for them to leave the title belt on somebody for that long because of multiple things. Anything from injury to fucking, he's got somebody that he's got fucking married to or whatever. Like, there's always a fucking reason.
Right.
Or fucking the guy just gets bad in the ring and then they sour on him and then they take the title off him.
I'll say this much. We're about a month and a half into his reign. I'm enjoying it. So, just saying.
I'm just enjoying the fact that the title belt is actually there.
It's there. You see it. It's there.
It's there.
Yeah, it's there. Joe, is your list ready to go?
Yeah, I got some ideas here. We could do this. All right, number one. I need more Austin Theory, okay? Mike was talking about last week about how, the first 45 minutes of Raw, Austin Theory's in a promo and then he's in match. That's not enough. I need Austin Theory on the first 45 minutes of SmackDown and NXT also.
For personal reasons, of course.
Theory... Huh?
For personal reasons, I'm sure, of course.
For personal reasons, we're going to make Austin Theory the top star in WWE.
Joe's eye candy.
It's gonna, between that and just to annoy Mike a little bit, we're gonna make Austin Theory the top guy in WWE. Number 2, frankly, I'm a little tired of these weak ass, we have 4 really good women on one show and 4 really good women on another show kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of, you know what? Let's get let's pick one of the brands and just make like the most solid women's division that you could possibly have. Just get all the really talented women over onto that brand. So like Lana could stay where she is. Like that's fine. But like let's move all the women that are like the really good wrestlers over to just one brand, and then let's fucking just like own it. Like let's just make them go to town and have the greatest women's division we've ever seen. That's what I want. Like give me like a whole hour once a week of just women's wrestling on this particular brand.
I feel like you're saying that towards a brand. That's like basically like a 205 Live. It's like this women's brand. That's it. Boom. It's one brand. Okay.
Yeah, to a certain degree, because honestly, they have so many really talented women, and then a whole bunch that aren't. But like, you spread out the really talented ones, and then it ends up not being as exciting as it can be because they're not getting to compete with each other.
Right.
It's just unless they do these stupid like wild card rules and this and that and the other, and I don't know. I'm just over it. Number three, I want more cinematic matches, especially right now while we're still stuck in COVID times and we're not going to have audiences and stuff. The Boneyard match was fucking awesome. The Firefly Funhouse match was fucking awesome. The Money in the Bank match was really stupid. But those other two were fucking awesome. And you know what? You can do more of those. Like, you know what? If SummerSlam this year is going to be from the Performance Center and I don't have Sting versus The Undertaker in like a 30-minute directed by Martin Scorsese opus, then I don't even know what the hell's going on anymore. Like seriously. Like at this point, like we can finally have the Sting and Undertaker like showdown that we've always dreamed of. Because you can film it over 2 months, so like every time one of them pulls a hammy and needs to take off for 2 weeks, it's not the end of the world, and it'll be exciting. And the fact is, like, look, at this point, if you don't think that WrestleMania is not going to be in front of any audience, like in front of any fans, like then I've got a bridge I can sell you. It's going to end up being the same thing that it's been. So let's go have some fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody get Sting on the phone. Like, let's make this happen. Okay.
Okay.
Number four, more Matt Riddle. Always more Matt Riddle. I don't even know how you get more Matt Riddle. I don't even know what that means, but more Matt Riddle.
Bro.
Yeah, no, seriously. And last but certainly not least, number 5.
You're still thinking about it.
I got nothing. I was good at the first one. More Austin Theory. Give him a second hour every week.
He's sicko. I like it. All right, Mike, go ahead, man.
All right, so Joe kind of took my idea for one of mine. So
Austin Theory. Austin Theory.
The Austin Theory mega push?
I will hang up on this phone call.
Brother. Come on, brother.
No, I actually came to the realization of that a all-women's brand, including the women's from NXT, would be something that would be monumental for WWE. So I said that I would put all the women on the same show. I would base it out of Orlando and just go from there. And I would just push the women's division as a whole to the moon. So that was my first one. My second selection my second idea. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I wrote them down. I got to get to the page. My second selection, or my second thought, was the fact that I would merge the tag teams together, and I would bring back the old school WWF tag title belts, like me and Joe just purchased.
The big square ones?
Bring those back.
The rectangular ones, I guess we call it?
Yeah.
Demolition belts? Yeah.
Yes.
I like it.
Number 3, I would also say I would go for the route of I would stop using part-time guys. Either you're here all the time or you're not here at all. So goodbye Brock Lesnar, goodbye
Brock Lesnar.
Bye Brock. So sorry Joe, that means no Sting. Unfortunately that means no more
No more Taker either?
Taker.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, Because at the end of the day, these guys, I love Taker, and Joe can attest to this. I'm the biggest fucking Taker guy in the world. You're not gonna ever get another guy who's a bigger Taker guy than I am. I was angry when he lost. I was.
What if, Mike? What if he just did like a Mania appearance here, a SummerSlam appearance here, just for for the sake of a spark? That's all.
Mike,
I think it was Mike.
No, I'm here. I'm just. I want to think out what you're saying before I just spew off something and it just
go right ahead.
Muffins.
Go right ahead.
So, I wouldn't like. Here's the thing: a part-timer appearance and having a one-off match and putting somebody over or something along those lines is one thing. Sticking a title belt on a guy for like 735 days out of 2 years, that's a little excessive, and it's taking away from the guys who are here day in and day out fucking killing themselves. So I think that's more or less, I guess, it's not the part-timers, like an occasional Taker appearance here, an occasional, there kind of thing isn't like the end of the world to me. It's the consistently being in the main event, and you're there for a month, and then you're gone for 6 months, and then you come back and you automatically in the main event scene, and you're the champion.
Oh, I agree with you, yeah.
These guys are like fucking chasing you, but they can't get to you because you're nowhere to fucking be found.
A la Goldberg, a la Brock Lesnar, right.
Correct. I would also, personally, I would say that they need to figure out what they're doing with the NXT United Kingdom division eventually, and either bring them all over to the United States and make a super NXT roster, which then means you can move some of those guys up permanently to the main rosters, your Austin Theories, your Shane Thorne, and guys like that. And it can fill the role of some of the guys that have been relieved of their duties as members of the roster that we talked about on this show. Your Zack Ryders, your Brian Myers, guys like that. So I think that's the thing. Figuring out the role that NXT UK is going to play is a big thing. And the fifth one that I have, for the love of God, get rid of that shit Intercontinental title and give me back the white strap.
Amen to that one. I'm with you. Amen to that one. Absolutely. We do have 2 minutes on this topic. If you want to continue it or go to the next one.
I think the only other thing that I would realistically think about potentially, removing or changing or shifting would be something along the lines of I would consider moving around the 205 Live guys. I feel like they need to be on a show, and maybe this is a thing where instead of them being on quote 205 Live, you put, like Joe was saying, you put the women's division on one show, you put the cruiserweights on another, and you just let that be the thing. Because I think that they tried with the cruiserweights and it didn't work, and I don't think it worked because I don't think that Vince was fully behind the cruiserweights, and I think that's no one to blame but Vince, not the actual competitors in the ring. Because there's a bunch of guys who have put it out there, and they've put it all on the line. Your Jack Gallagher's, your Drew Gulak's, now even Drake Maverick potentially being on the way out, still trying to win the cruiserweight title and things like that. So I mean, this is just me, my personal opinions on the situation. I would consider the thought process of moving some things around to get other people more on-air time, because there are some people that right now could use a ton of on-air time.
Absolutely.
How, and again, this is going to toot Joe's horn. How great has Austin Theory looked? Not in that way.
Disclaimer by Michael.
Yeah. Since actually getting television time, he had the matches in NXT where right when he first came on, and then the pandemic hit. And now, he's a guy who's in a main event feud on Raw, and he was fighting for the Evolve title, less than, 6 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Or what feels like 6 weeks ago.
Something like that.
And I mean, the thing is, he went from being part of Zelina's Hunks to part of the modern-day revival machine.
Maharajas?
Yeah, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Also, I honestly think this is going to lead to Theory and Buddy Murphy having a tag team feud against
Yes.
Garza and
Yes.
Andrade for like the next 8 weeks.
And I'm so excited for that, or at least.
I'm not opposed to it. I just think that it's going to be. We needed new, fresh matches on Raw. What can we do?
Yep.
So that's what you get.
One
You
of the three of them.
You what you asked for.
Exactly.
All right, that's time on the topic. Joe, bring us home, man.
So the topic that I decided to go with tonight was focused on the luchadors that worked at WCW in 1997. And my question to you guys, as I know you are such huge fans of WCW 1997 wrestling, is who is your favorite luchador on that roster?
Who's going first in this one? I went first last time.
There's only one right answer for the rest.
Okay, I'll go quickly then. I did some research on this a little bit because I had to remember who was on the roster in '97, because obviously '97 was really the first year they really put a lot of effort into that division, whatever, the cruiserweight division, whatnot. And obviously you can go either way. Like you Rey Mysterio, Guerrero, you name it. There's a lot of big names who are now Hall of Famers now as a result, But the one person that stood out for me back then, I had to take myself back to '97, 17 years old, watching WCW. Because I to be honest with you, I wasn't. It took me a while to get into the smaller guys, honestly, because I was more of a Hogan and just the big, Nash. I was more of the big guys. That's how I was raised. That's all I knew. Macho Man and Shawn Michaels were only two guys who were considered small that I actually really appreciated at that time. The first guy that really got me to really appreciating the Luchadors was Psychosis. Psychosis, he stood out. To me, he was the first guy that really stood out. Now, obviously, after that, you get Mysterio and all the other guys, but Psychosis was the first guy to me that really stood out. The gimmick and the look and all that. He was excited to watch. Whether it was on Nitro or on Thunder, whatever it may be, but he was always excited to watch. I remember him being the guy that started my I might like this now. They're not so bad, the small guys. Because I was so used to watching the bulky guys and selling and overselling all that shit. That's the kind of wrestling I got into in the mid '80s, But Psychosis was really the first true luchador, small cruiserweight that really got me appreciating that division. Really, so Psychosis is mine.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the right answer, but I like it.
Should Mike go next or what?
I told you that you weren't going to get it right.
I probably wasn't. I just went for the hit. Go ahead.
I know who the correct pick is, but I'm going to let Joe explain why it's Super Callow.
Yes.
I'll let Joe explain why it's Super Callow.
Is that yours too?
No. He is in my top three. I actually probably have him in the 2 spot. My number one all-time 1997 WCW Luchador has to be La Parka. The chair swinging freak, dancing on the chair, being a crazy guy. His costume is made out of skulls and bones. It's cool. I love La Parka. I know it's not the correct answer, but where else can you get a guy that does a shimmy dance, puts a chair on the ground or puts a chair down and sits on the chair and does the same dance?
He had a badass,
1997 WCW Lucha Libre was the answer I was actually looking for there. And actually, my other choice was a guy who me and Joe have created a nickname for this gentleman. Draggy 8 Belts.
Yes.
Ultimo Dragon.
Okay.
He was the Super J Crown winner in Japan, and him and Sonny Ono, and he had 1,700 titles. So me and Joe called him Draggy 8 Belts. So gotta pay homage to Ultimo Dragon.
All right, Joe. So explain.
Okay, Super Callow is clearly the right answer, guys.
Okay.
First of all, this man almost died in every one of his matches. He almost gave his life, every single time he went out there to entertain us. And if you can't honor him for that, then honestly, I don't know what to say, honestly, at that point. The other thing is, his hat was literally, stitched into his mask. And, that's just thinking ahead. Because, the amount of times that he jumps out of the ring, he would have lost his hat, so many times. Eeyore loses his tail a lot. Super Callow would have lost his hat a lot. So he thought ahead. He was smart. He was effective. He was really the most underrated superstar in all of WCW.
La Parka would be number 2 because of the his costume, skulls and shit. As a metalhead, of course, I love that. So
yeah,
but yeah.
Is there any other good 1997 Lucha Libre guys? Always we could pay homage to Juventud Guerrero, the Juice.
Of course,
the Juice is loose. I mean, I don't know about you, but Villano 4 and Villano 5.
Let me see real quick.
Hector Garza. Angel Garza's
nope.
papa.
I was going to ask you, is that in relation to that?
I think so.
WCW.
I gotta look it up because this is gonna annoy me.
Okay, so let me see what's like. Luchador is 1990s.
All right,
Luchador
so
Luchador
Hector Garza. Nope.
Let me see here. So obviously Mysterio. That's on the. I mean, that's quite obvious.
No, Hector Garza's son was El Satan, but it was his uncle because Angel Garza's in that family.
Yeah, that La Parka uniform is so hysterical, dude. Like Skeletor.
Hector Garza passed away. Oh.
Yeah, let me see.
Hector Garza passed away on October 15th. No, May 26th of 2013 due to cancer. Oh. That's Humberto Carrillo's uncle and Angel Garza's uncle.
Silver King? Was he in 1997?
Yes, he was there.
Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but whenever I think about old school WCW 1997 cruiserweight, I always think of Lodi, part of the Flock.
Okay.
I don't know why I think of him, but I do. It's like it's the Flock.
Lucha Libre.
Anybody else that you really think about in 1997 Lucha Libre, Joe?
I mean, no Super Calo. Like he was like the original Monday Night Messiah.
Super Calo. Was Damien one too? Damien
666. Wasn't he like? Yeah. Didn't he have like the orange face paint?
Can't remember exactly. To be honest with you, I have to go on Daily Motion again. Look at it. Yeah, Juventud. Hector Garza. Yeah, you're right. Hector Garza. Blitzkrieg. The Guerreros. Los Guerreros.
I don't even really count Eddie as a cruiserweight, but he probably was technically part of the cruiserweight division.
Yeah, he had he won the belt that year, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But again, I really didn't appreciate them until way after, man. I feel bad saying that, man, because I was such a, okay, well, I want the muscle guys, Macho, Hogan, all that, so it took me a while to appreciate those smaller guys. Even Jericho, too, took me a while to appreciate.
I appreciated Jericho all the way because of the greatest move list ever created.
I didn't know he was being misused though. That was quite obvious. He was being misused. He was really talented.
Move number 3, arm bar.
Yeah.
Him that
Can we at least all agree that the worst person in that general division was definitely Prince Iaukea?
If you say so, I'll run with it.
Oh, come on! You can't like Prince Iaukea. There's rules.
I mean, and I follow your rules.
I mean, come on.
We're trying to fill time with a segment. Still got 6 minutes.
Prince Iaukea, though, I really want to know this.
Yeah, so you still got 6 minutes.
Have you never watched the Prince Iaukea match?
I have to remember that. I don't know if I remember that, to be honest. I gotta look back and just because. See the problem with WCW in '97, especially '97, '98, it was so NWO dominated that it was so hard. You had to really, really pay attention to the other guys not involved in that. It was so hard.
Yeah, that's true.
They saturated the entire fucking market. They were their own enemy, really, to be honest with you.
So but at the beginning when they had Six involved and they had him kind of fighting for the cruiserweight title and stuff.
Yeah.
And then once he was gone, their involvement in the cruiserweight scene was pretty much gone. Do you think that was the wrong call?
98.
Do you think that was the wrong call? Do you think they should have been involved in that scene, or do you think it was refreshing that there was like something that they weren't touching?
You mean NWO or WCW in
Yeah.
general?
Yeah, the NWO. Like, do you think that like by them not having anyone in the fight on the cruiserweight title scene, that it diminished the cruiserweight scene?
Yeah,
or do you think it was
well,
refreshing?
it would help that WWE get some more notice. I mean, the
Right.
fact that, I agree with you. And they were so they focused mainly on the world title and the tag team title. That was it.
Yeah.
They were so singular
Goddamn
focused
NWO.
Yeah. Anything else before we get going? You want to keep filling up this segment? Still got 5 minutes.
I just wanted to celebrate Super Calos. I mean, as long as you guys like, I mean, I can list my top 5 favorite Super Calo matches if you'd like, but I mean, I don't know if everyone's really ready for all that. So like, maybe I should save that for another time.
You know what I'll do though? I'm gonna put in Super Calo on the WWE Network and see if what pops up and start watching some more matches.
I mean, that's gonna take like I just hope you have a good 2 hours and 10 minutes of your life to set aside to watch his entire wrestling career, because I don't know. I mean, he's the Iron Man of nothing. So like,
I will say this, involving the Super Calo and the WWE Network.
Okay.
You better put some time away because once you start, you're not going to want to put it down. He's there. He's great, and I think you're going to love every minute of him. But at the end of the day, the fact that Joe actually has a list of his top 5 favorite Super Calo matches, the fact that he put time together to create a list, something that Joe does not do.
Yeah.
I think we need to pay respect to the fact that Joe actually came up with a list for once.
Credibility.
Wait,
Credibility for you, Joe.
I just said I could have a list, but
basically Joe has credibility on the topic.
You really should have just taken my compliment and moved on.
Exactly.
I mean, number 1 on the list is definitely him versus Chris Jericho at some point in 1997 on either Nitro or Saturday Night.
Alrighty, so let's do it. MVPs of the week. Who wants to go first? I've gone first twice.
Not it.
I'll go first. Fuck it. Shout out to Hangman Page. He's back.
I like it.
Cowboy
Back.
shit.
So, but wait, what was the results of our who won? Who had the most wins for the Double or Nothing?
I went 6-2. Joe went 6-2. Ernest went 4-4.
Mediocrity killed the cat, didn't it?
See, we got automatic losses because Britt Baker didn't even wrestle. And then, we both took Nyla Rose. And then you're the genius that thought Darby Allin was going to win a ladder match. And you're the real genius that thought that, the Elite weren't going to, win, a match. This is their company. They put everybody over for the first year. It's finally time for them to start, I don't know, putting themselves over.
Well, I mean, Cody got his. But anyway, finally, big match for Cody. But yeah, Hangman Page, my MVP for the week. He's back. He beats up the Inner Circle on Wednesday's Dynamite and then leaves the fucking premises again. While you have my Hardy going delete the entire time. He's walking away.
I mean, he made it clearly he wanted to do it on his own.
Yeah, love it.
Joseph?
Joe?
Man, this is a hard one. I don't no one jumps out at me as particularly a clear MVP, and it's kind of a sadder week, and it feels sad being like, oh, Shad, put Shad Gaspard there or something. I don't want to do that, because that just doesn't feel like what that's meant to be used for.
Makes sense.
But I kind of just don't know who I would put in this role anyway, so I'm kind of just gonna abstain from this week, honestly.
Did you say Sting?
No, I said abstain.
Abstain, okay.
Yes. Sting is like tantric sex. Abstain is like no sex.
All right, Mike?
I kind of, me and Joe were kind of, almost on the same brain link, how it's been a somber week and things like that. So I guess, my MVP of the week, and I'm going to take a real big cop-out, is the wrestlers in all companies that have gone through this terrible week. The fact that guys, I know Lance Archer was really good friends with Shad Gaspard to go out there and perform for Shad. And, a couple of the females on the AEW roster and on the WWE roster in the Ring of Honor roster, that we're friends with Hikaru Shida. That's the thing. This is a time where every time that something happens like this, we always say that like the wrestling industry needs to come together, and they need to look out for each other. But I feel like this is like more than ever. Like this is the time where that I know like AEW versus WWE in the ranking and the ratings, and McMahon versus Khan and this, that, or the other. But that stuff's got to fall by the wayside when it comes to weeks like this, where
right.
This isn't about TNT is happy that AEW is doing this and fans aren't happy that Vince is doing that. Two people lost the rest of their lives, and families have pieces that they're going to pick up for the rest of theirs. So I know that JTG has made it publicly known that he's going to know and help Shad's wife with his son, and I just hope that the rest of the wrestlers in the industry, can take that and can also be there not only for Shad, but for Shida's parents and stuff like that. And it's just stuff like that where, like, I feel like this is like, I could have done the same thing Joe did, but I feel like I need to just pay homage to the people, that
I like it.
Still do it. And I know that there was a bunch of former WWE and even current WWE guys that were at the beach for Shad's memorial, including the likes of John Morrison and his wife, the Impact Wrestling Women's Champion Taya Valkyrie, Dolph Ziggler, JTG, Damian Sandow, there's just a bunch of them in the photos shown. And it's things like this where I don't care what company you represent. I don't care what color you bleed in that. I want the wrestlers to understand that small-time indie to mainstream guy, everybody's important in the role that they play. And, the fans support you, because of what you do for us, and you give us that brief piece of, oh, it's new, it's fresh. Let's not worry about a pandemic, or let's not worry about it.
Right.
We got something to erase our minds, and and the world got rocked this week, and the wrestling world will help pick up the pieces of these broken friendships and families, and hopefully let these people know that just because some bully said something stupid, that people still loved her, and that everyone will always remember the heroic duty that Shad did to make sure that his child did not meet the same unfortunate fate that he met on that day.
Right. Makes a lot of sense. On that note, you can follow Mike on Twitter at TheyCallMeBurn. That's BERN. Joe Lopez on no Twitter for Joe still, right?
Nope.
No, never. Nope. Drawing dead there. I'm on Twitter, of course, at EastChristian7. Follow the Wrestling Podcast, also Tweet Wrestling Podcast at Take3 Wrestling on Twitter as well too. Fellas, great show tonight. Great show.
Excellent.
All right.
Agreed.
All righty. Have a good night. Stay safe.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Adios.